The names have been changed.
We could use a dragnet when it comes to car break-ins, huh? And the shouldn't have this category. We still have it. Car break-ins. I'll fill you in next on Dragnet. Drew Brees. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Drew Brees is right. He should know. He lived here a while, about 15 years. Now he's back in La Jolla. I think it's pronounced La Jolla. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday. Yeah, you right. 4 o'clock hour brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe. Yeah, you right. Went there yesterday with my brother, with my mom, with my sister. Carlina took care of us. Lamb chops and chicken shawarma and chicken and beef kebab, kefta kebab, all those Lebanese sides. So good. Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe. Yummy. 4 o'clock hour, brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe. We got a good one lined up for you. New Orleans City Council President J.P. Morrell's going to join us in less than 15 minutes. Police chief search, Pontalba abuse, travel, on and on and on. J.P. Morrell mostly talking about the mayor and her abuses. That's coming up next. The NOPD chief search reportedly down to 3, including 2 women. Interim Chief Michelle Woodfork, Oakland Chief Ann Kirkpatrick, and Theodore Andrus Sr. Reportedly, Mayor LaToya Cantrell will choose out of these remaining 3. Present it to the council for a vote. We'll find out what J.P. Morrell, City Council President, says in about 12 minutes. Helena Moreno, New Orleans City Council Vice President, and J.P. Morrell are usually on the same page. Moreno penned a letter to the mayor's office refusing to vote any nominee in if the council doesn't receive the resumes from all 6 of the semifinalists. All 6, not just the 3 finalists. Scores from the IACP on those finalists, how they graded each and every one of those finalists, and how they got from 33 applicants down to the 6 semifinalists. That's what Moreno was requesting. We'll see if the council received that, what J.P. Morrell thinks. Oliver Thomas, Councilman District E, he is on one of the 2 or 3 boards that the mayor put together to overlook, to, I guess, scrutinize these applicants. NOPD chief search reportedly down to 3. A federal judge orders the mayor's administration to court next month. Another, just, I don't know what you'd call it, flawed, tainted, corrupt VAPI investigation. The Public Integrity Bureau, they said there were 3 minor violations. The Federal Monitor cited 9 violations, some major, including payroll fraud that the PIB mysteriously missed. Rule to show cause. Did the city violate the consent decree? It sort of goes in the blank or get off the pot kind of story category, I guess, if it were. I'm talking about the Buddy Bolden home. Arguably, maybe the father of jazz music, the inventor, the originator, the first domino mover, Buddy Bolden. His home on First Street, right off Simone Bolivar in Central City, has been owned by Reverend Morton's family for years now. They bought it not even knowing it was Buddy Bolden's home. and they've neglected it since they've purchased it. The Preservation Resource Group says this building's falling into that demolition by neglect category. Demolition by neglect, like leave it alone long enough, have the roof or wall compromised to rain, water, the elements, and eventually that bad boy's going to fall to the ground. This is Reverend Morton, the preacher, who after Katrina, I think, flocked to Houston or Atlanta, built his church there, saw there was more money there, kept his church there. The New Orleans church nowhere near the significance that it was pre-Katrina. Deborah Morton goes by doctor when she doesn't have a accredited school PhD. Yeah, I'm a doctor too. No, just these sort of the tele-evangelist type mentality with the Morton family. And then you have the son, PJ Morton, a great musician, a Grammy Award winner. He supposedly owns the house now. Here's the sinful part. Reverend Morton and his wife, Deborah Morton, have millions of dollars in free money, money that they preach. They give people 10% of their money, their tidings, whatever. PJ Morton played for like Maroon 5. He has to have some money unless he just spent it all. He's a Grammy Award winner. About $10,000 cash, maybe $15,000 at the most, would secure the house. It wouldn't make the house ready to live in or make it a museum or a monument, but it would secure it from the elements where you don't have to worry about this demolition by neglect. The 10 or 15 grand 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, when the Mortons bought it, could have secured the property. They've done nothing essentially. Very, very, very little. So just, and it's funny because he's a preacher, sinful behavior. Not putting this minimum 10, 12, 15 grand. Probably get that take on any church service. That's probably a bad take at any single church service from this mega church, especially in Atlanta. But he can't secure the house. The son, PJ Morton, in the music industry, can't secure maybe the father of jazz, that genre. Can't get that house secured. Just mind-blowing. I would say chances are better than not that it gets demolished by neglect, just falls in, caves in, before the Morton family does the right thing that they refuse to do for about a decade now. What makes you think they're going to change and do the right thing? Give it, sell it, donate it to some entity that actually gives a blank and is ready to fix the house and make it a museum, a monument to Buddy Bolden, arguably the father of the jazz genre. No, just terrible. Sinful behavior. Shame on you, Morton family. Let someone else take over the house. What is your problem? What is your dysfunction? You're lucky. You're one of the lucky ones. You came up with this gimmick, this tele-evangelist type gimmick that is producing free money for you. Reinvest. Fix the house already. Or give it, donate it to someone that will. My God. Just pathetic, embarrassing behavior. How long does this have to go on? You know, it yells, I don't care. I'm a church and I don't care about an old historic building that numerous people have told me about. And as a Grammy Award winning musician, I don't care. I don't get it. It doesn't jive. There's something I'm missing here. Something wrong. Yeah, in the can't have this category, yet we still have it. At least 10 car break-ins at the Riverwalk parking lot overnight. Some tourist, his quote, "We love coming here and we want to come back, but it definitely doesn't make you want to come back." No, it doesn't. And New Orleans doesn't care. I don't get it. These surface lot car break-ins, it's 2023. My God, a camera with a solar panel and a battery, lights, security. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. How much more of this has to happen? How much more of this has to happen? Boy, the weather's right to knock out that paint project for the next week and a half. No rain expected. It's hot and sunny, but your crew's ready to go to work and knock out that paint project. Helm Paint and Decorating has those high-quality Benjamin Moore paints, all the supplies you need to knock out that paint project right. Do it once, do it right. They'll steer you in the right direction. 7 locations, Helm Paint and Decorating.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future. At the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Welcome back on a Monday afternoon. Corey Johnson with you on radio, on television. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on YouTube, The Neutral Ground, with Corey Johnson. New Orleans City Council President J.P. Morrell joins us once again on the program. What's happening, J.P.?
Nothing much. What's going on with you, Corey?
Same old thing, man. Hot summer, trying to get through this.
Well, it is definitely stupid hot. It's crazy hot outside these days.
Yep, it is. Stay hydrated. Hey, you're the president of the council. Helena Moreno is the vice president. Y'all don't agree on everything, but y'all seem to agree on a lot of stuff, including the basic commonsensical type of stuff. She wrote a letter to the mayor. Want the resumes for all 6 semifinalists for the police chief. Want the scores from IACP on the finalists. And how did you get from 33 to 6? Reportedly, they're down to 3. Is that what you guys want, JP, and more? What do you want from the mayor as far as this police chief search? And I guess the overall theme is transparency.
Well, I mean, even going back to when IACP was selected, I sent them letters and I sent them letters and I interviewed with them when they first came in. And IACP made it very clear that their client, I use client in quotes, in this search is the mayor of the city of New Orleans. And even though the city of New Orleans, your tax dollars are paying for them to do the work, they are not beholden, nor do they feel required to share any information with the council or the public on how they get to their picks or why they're selected. The problem with that, Corey, is that unfortunately for the mayor, unlike previous mayors, there's a confirmation process where the council has to confirm her pick. And the challenge we face right now is very simply, if they won't share the information with how they got to the pick they have, then for all practical purposes, when the council goes into confirmation, we just have to ignore there was a search to begin with. Because if you won't show us the work as to how you got to the person you selected, we can't just take it on faith, especially when this process has been anything but transparent.
JP, I can't stress enough how in agreement I am with you on this, but I'm just going to play devil's advocate and kind of play the mayor. Hey, JP, y'all's job is to approve the appointment I give to you. Don't worry about how we got there. I throw out Jane or John Doe. Y'all say yes or no. That's all you need to know.
Well, the challenge there is that that's not actually how confirmation works. Confirmation isn't you give me your pick and we sign off on your pick. It's you give us your pick. We review your pick. We look at their qualifications, their history. Basically, we look at if they're the best fit for the city for that position. And if we agree with your pick, they are confirmed. If we don't agree with your pick, they're not confirmed. And then you go back as a mayor to the starting board to pick somewhere else. And I'd like to also highlight that the interim period under which Chief Woodfork operates expires in August. So essentially, Chief Woodfork will not be eligible to be the temporary chief again after her time expires. So either you have to pick Chief Woodfork or you have to start over again.
You either have to pick Chief Woodfork or start over. I don't get that. What if she picks one of the other two?
Well, if she picks one of the other two, then we would go through their qualifications based upon the information we have in front of us. Which right now, the challenge is that we don't have any information in front of us because the scoring mechanism through which IACP and the external individuals use to pick those people, we don't have any of that. So basically, the council will be put in a position where we would have to independently go and basically research the person because all the information that was used to score them to that top 3 spot, we don't have any of it.
It seems strange that IACP would act as if they work for the mayor. It seems like they work for the city of New Orleans and the council is obviously under that umbrella.
It is bizarre. I mean, on one level, generally speaking, if the mayor were a private person and she were getting a report generated by IACP to make a hire, like an HR, I guess, headhunter firm would be one thing. And if there wasn't a confirmation process, as previous mayors have enjoyed not having a confirmation process, then having to show the math wouldn't be on the table. But when IACP was selected, they knew going into this there was going to be a confirmation process. They knew going into this that the council would have to have some access to information, and we would not simply take IACP's opinion as to who's would be the best chief. And more importantly, not just their opinion, but they have a tremendous amount of data they've obviously generated on all of these candidates, whether it be Chief Woodfork, whether it be, my understanding, the three that are left are the individual from Henderson, the individual from Oakland, and Chief Woodfork.
Yeah.
That's what I've been told. But like I said, the council finds out who's selected when the public finds out.
Wow.
All of those people, just based upon Google, all have challenges. Now, mind you, if we had access to all of the information, including all of the conversations, everything that's taken place, we could make a very informed decision based on information being made available to us and to the public. But without making that information public, you're basically making us start all over again. And that's challenging not just for the council, but for the person who's going through confirmation. They're going to get asked all the same questions. You're going to have a variety of groups, stakeholders that were shut out. They're going to come to confirmation, and they're going to put their own points on the record. Because, I mean, part of confirmation, it's a public hearing. I envision confirmation at this point will probably take close to a week, where we will have individuals come in, stakeholder groups presenting their support or their opposition to whoever candidate's going to be based upon the information they have. Because at this point, it's just going to be whatever you can find out on your own, which is, problematic.
Yep, you said this weeks ago. How frustrating is it, JP, this search not being transparent? You said it undermines the public trust in the process. That was weeks ago you said that.
Oh, it's especially frustrating because it's just unnecessary. If the mayor would just be transparent in the process, if she'd let the council see who was picked and why, it would give us all the ability to have a very efficient confirmation process. The challenge we're facing now is that it will be an inefficient process by design because we will be wholly unable to verify things, and we're just going to have to go do it all over again. Like I said, it'll be frustrating for the public, but it'll be frustrating for the candidates as well because they've already been vetted by IACP. That was part of their process in doing this, and having to do it again is just going to be kind of a tremendous waste of time and resources, considering that the city has already paid for someone to do this.
How frustrating is all of this for you personally as a councilman when you have, your agenda for the citizens, why you got elected? Hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. And instead, on your push card, it never said, make sure the police chief, if there's a search, there's transparency. Make sure the mayor doesn't stay at the Pontalba for free. Make sure we cap her travel costs. Make sure the flyer isn't illegal. That wasn't what you ran on. It's got to be frustrating. It's like you're playing, police monitor or traffic cop or principal or something. You have to monitor the mayor. It's got to just be not fun going to work with that happening.
It is frustrating, but it's part of the job. I mean, when I was a state senator, we had to do confirmation when I was on governmental affairs for a significant part of the time we were in Baton Rouge. And it's part of the process. And it's a check and balance that the citizens of the city gave us to make sure that the best possible people are selected, not just for police chief, but going forward, the next head of safety and permits, the next head.
No, I like all that, JP, and I'm glad you guys are doing that. I mean more this babysitting of the mayor.
Well, the reality is that this mayor is the only one we've had confirmation with, but there's nothing that prevents future mayors from having to require the same level of oversight.
Yep.
So it's part of the process, and it's at times it can be frustrating, but at the same time, it's part of what we do.
Yeah, it is.
It is what it is.
It is. I would just rather hear jobs coming in. Instead, you'll have to worry about the police chief search being transparent when you shouldn't have to worry about that. Now you're going to have to redefine these Pontalba rules, I guess, huh? The OIG says put it back into commerce. She continues to abuse that apartment right, huh?
Well, as things stand right now, the ordinance that will be introduced on Thursday will clarify that the Pontalba is not to be used by anyone for residence, period, and that the city really, other than delegating oversight of the Pontalba to the French Bar Corporation, should have absolutely nothing to do with Pontalba. No one should be living there. No one should be throwing parties there. No one should touch it at all, because it is purely there for the city to A, upkeep and maintain, because it is a historic building, but B, to generate revenue for the city of New Orleans. And I would like to think that the original ordinance that we had and considered months ago, the one that was gutted by some of my colleagues, presented an option which I thought was a fair compromise, where a mayor could simply rent the apartment with their own money. But after what we've experienced since that ordinance, I don't even think that should be on the table. At this point, it's just going to be no one lives there, no one stays there. There's a waiting list, Corey, for I guess 380 people on a waiting list for an apartment.
Yep.
They will easily find someone else to rent that particular unit. The city will generate the revenue, and we can all go back to focusing on doing our respective jobs.
I'd love you to get that $1,000 travel limit back into an ordinance. The mayor just loves abusing those trips, those junkets. Hey, JP Morrell, always a pleasure, man. Keep up the good fight.
No, I appreciate it. Have a great day.
That's JP Morrell, New Orleans City Council president, joining us. Yeah, it's like staying on top of the mayor all the time. But no, I mean, I guess that is part of the gig. Corey Johnson, come
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe, in the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply. For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. Jason's fielding your phone calls. Rouse's Markets phone lines 504-766-9480. Jason, what was that quote from JP Morrell? Inefficiency by design. That's great. That's a good quote, huh? New Orleans City Council President J.P. Morrell was just joining us. The NOPD search reportedly down to 3, including 2 women. Interim Chief Michelle Woodfork, Oakland Chief Ann Kirkpatrick, and Theodore Andrus Sr. Reportedly, the mayor will make a selection from those 3, present it to the council for a vote. They need at least 4 of the 7 council members to approve it for that person to become the new chief. A federal judge orders Mayor LaToya the Destroyer Cantrell's administration, the Junket Cantrell administration, to court next month. Another conversation about the flawed, tainted, corrupt VAPI investigation. The Public Integrity Bureau cited 3 minor violations. The Federal Monitor cited 9, including payroll fraud that the Public Integrity Bureau missed somehow. Rule to show cause. Did the city violate the consent decree? Look, I'm all for the NOPD moving on from the consent decree. What makes you think they deserve to be beyond it when this kind of stuff continuously happens? It almost seems like you're antagonizing the warden and you want out of jail. Boy, this Morton family and Buddy Bolden's house in Central City, sinful behavior. It is mind-boggling. This preacher and his wife, Deborah Morton, have a lot of money, free money for doing very little. And then the son is a Grammy Award-winning musician. You think there'd be a respect for Buddy Bolden and his contribution to music. He probably invented jazz. He's probably the very first mover of jazz, that genre of music, Buddy Bolden. And coming out of Central City, part of uptown New Orleans, not the Storyville section of, what is that, the 7th Ward, maybe? Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. In the can't have this category, yet we still do, at least 10 car break-ins at the Riverwalk parking lot overnight. The Riverwalk parking lot right next to the Hilton, right downtown. And then I don't understand how the Falstaff parking lot on Broad and Gravier, you know, by that totally unnecessary traffic light they put up about 50 feet past the one on Broad and Tulane. How can that surface lot have car break-ins when there's the sheriff's compound 100 yards away? Sheriff deputies 100 yards away. Plus all kind of police are around there. There's a major police presence. That might be police headquarters as well. I'm trying to think. That might be the police headquarters as well. And that Falstaff surface lot has car break-ins too. These criminals are just ruthless and do not care. I was watching something in, I forget where it was, maybe Sacramento. Did you see this video, Jason? These huge women, obese women, fat as can be, wheeling out carts from, I think, like a Target or like a Walmart, just over the top filled with items, and the alarm going off at the store. These huge fat women rolling these carts as fast as they can, pulling up to some four-door Dodge, like that Charger, whatever it is, red car, opening the trunk, unloading 4 baskets of crap, and then these huge 4 fat women get into this car and drive off from the Target, just stealing all kinds of stuff. No, these break-ins at these high-end stores. We thought the driving the truck through the window of the store and trying to steal the ATM like the movie Barbershop was brazen here in New Orleans. But boy, nationally, folks going into like Louis Vuitton and these stores and stealing purses that go for thousands of dollars. These snatch and grabs are just brazen. People aren't even masked up. It's 2023. I don't know. Did you see the Capitol insurrection? The day it happened, I said, these morons, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're posting crap on Twitter, their faces, their names, everything. There's going to be hundreds arrested. That wasn't, boy, Corey, you were right on the money. That was obvious. That was, no joke. Same thing here with all these snatch and grabs. The only thing I could think, I guess, that car was stolen that the 4 fat women got into in Sacramento, stealing all the stuff. Just this over-the-top theft that we've never seen before is just, it's beyond brazen. It's crazy. And I guess it's at all levels. Look at the mayor. Look at the mayor, city of New Orleans. Just does not care what anyone thinks. I'm going to get mine, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I got reelected to a second term. The recall failed. What a joke that was. I got suckered into that. There's no hope on that. None. No, this mayor just has one thing she's very consistent with, a few things. She's going to do what she wants, screw everybody, and I'm going to get mine because this 15 minutes of fame is up soon, and my life is going to dramatically change when I'm no longer mayor. So I need to get in a lifetime of memories, get to as many foreign destinations as possible on the city's dime because I can, and I don't even need to justify it. There are no jobs. There's no money coming into the city. I don't care. And there's enough people, because I'm female, because I'm black, for whatever reason, there's enough people that either don't care or are actually for what I'm doing. There is a comical radio station. It's a joke. It's pathetic. I don't know why people get in front of a microphone or a camera if their whole goal is to blatantly sell out. Like not even a question mark. There's no gray area. It is cut and dried, blatant selling out. The mayor, the sheriff go on this station with these hosts that basically lube up their head and insert it up you-know-what. Just a puppet. It's a joke. It's like the mayor gives the host the questions. The sheriff gives the host the questions that they're going to be asked. It is beyond softball pitches. It's sinful. It's a joke. It's perpetuating this, at the very least, inefficient, ineffective, inefficiency by design. It's at the very least allowing that to happen. At worst, criminal behavior. And basing it all off of skin color and pretending you represent the community and on and on and on and on. Just nauseating. Giving these hack politicians a free pass because of skin color is absolutely pathetic. Now, that there's one criticism of the New Orleans black community that I'll make loud and clear. I talk to black folks all the time. Black friends, black acquaintances, black folks I know, and always, but trusting, just laying it all out on the line. But there's sort of this unwritten rule, like at the barber shop, you can be critical of black folks. Outside the barber shop, and especially in front of whitey, no criticism of the black community. And that's just pathetic and embarrassing. I don't represent the white community. I don't have to worry about, boy, I better not be critical. They're white, they're gay, they're female, they're black, they're whatever. I don't care. I go where the facts lead me. Praise folks that deserve praise. Criticize folks that deserve the criticism. I don't have to worry about, are they my friends? Are they in my neighborhood? Are they my color, my religion? Do they think like me? Do they not think like me? I don't care. I go where the facts lead me. No, and some black folks that are apprehensive just won't criticize anything black publicly, especially in front of white folks. It's required. No different from biased folks that, are Republican or Democrat and can't criticize their own, only the other side. I mean, how far can you go in that conversation with someone? JP Morrell joined us a little while ago talking about the police chief search, less than transparent. Pontalba apartment, the mayor's got to get out. They're going to vote on Thursday to oust her again. Just doesn't stop. Travel expenses, the flyer. Plus, you got almost 3 full years of this left. Probably going to have Jeff Landry as governor. My God, how much can a good, reasonable person take? Hey, every day, this program on radio, television, YouTube, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra. The big store, Lamarck Ford, #1, Lamarck Lincoln, #1 in the state. And now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford under the Lamarck umbrella. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Uh-oh, here comes Art Neville. Yeah, you right. Monday afternoon, Corey Johnson back at you. Boy, I didn't realize there were so many local ice cream makers. Lots of local ice cream makers. I went to one on Barone just last week. Right across the street, a sweet shop that makes ice cream sandwiches with homemade ice cream. I'm like, wow. There are multiple local ice cream shops in New Orleans. Name me 2 local ice cream shops. Name me 2 local ice cream shops, and I'll give you 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 area locations of the Woodhouse Day Spa. It's what she wants, guys. It's what we want, ladies. A day of relaxation at the city's premier day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Mid-City, New Orleans, Metairie near North Kenner, Mandeville, Slidell, Baton Rouge. Go online, woodhousespas.com. Woodhousespas.com. Name me 2 local ice cream parlors or shop. Locally owned, locally operated, locally produced. Not my friend locally owns the Baskin-Robbins. No, I hear you. Baskin-Robbins locally owned. I've met the owner that owns a few Baskin-Robbins. He owns the one in the Riverbend. He owns the one on Carrollton by Bienville in front of the Rouses. Think he owns a West Bank one. Maybe the Kennebra. No, that Indian dude who I've met, nice guy, across from Kebab House on Vets and Homa, has that Baskin-Robbins Dunkin' Donuts with the drive-thru. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a local, Corey's Ice Cream. Name 2 local ice cream parlors or shops. There are many more than 2. And I've got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Rouse's Market's phone lines are open, 766-9480. 766-9480. I'm going to answer this question next hour. I don't get how we don't have an answer on this. Fastest speed indoors for a car. Porsche from Germany, new with their electric Porsche and that instant torque, instant acceleration, motorcycle like 0 to 60 quarter mile. They could set an indoor speed record with this car that just shoots off the pad. 0 to 60, 0 to 100, 0 to, north of 100 really fast. And then excellent braking so you don't smash the car into a wall. Fastest indoor speed for a car. Porsche had the car, needed to find the building. They thought about it long and hard. They found the building. They set the indoor speed record, 102 miles an hour, indoors. Which building did Porsche use to set the world indoor speed record for a car? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Let's head to the phone lines. Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. 766-9480. We're heading to Kennebra, where they land some rather large aircraft at now a state-of-the-art facility. Susan joins us in Kenner. Hey, Susan.
Hi.
What's going on in Kenner, brah?
Well, I'm just passing some time.
Hey, Susan, is Kenner, Louisiana, or is it Kenner Bra, Louisiana? What's the real name?
Kenner, Louisiana.
Not Kenner Bra, Louisiana?
No.
All right, just double checking. I saw a great photo. You know the Kenner sign with the bricks and the green Kenner sign, like America's City or something like that?
Yeah.
It said, "Welcome to Kenner." And then someone on the right kind of pedestal column laid a brassiere strap there. So you see, "Welcome to Kenner, brah."
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was pretty good, I thought, Susan. What's on your mind this afternoon in Kenner?
Well, I'm just naming 2 ice cream places in New Orleans. One is Baskin Robbins, and the other one is Bricado's.
Well, Baskin Robbins doesn't count because it's not local. What Bricado's is correct. Angelo Bricado's on Carrollton. That's a local ice cream shop. What's another local ice cream shop?
Oh,
wow.
I can't think of another one.
Well, Susan, because you're in Kennebra, I'm going to tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate, but that's incorrect. Only half right.
Yeah, you wrong.
Hang on, Susan, all right? That's Susan in Kenner. Don't go anywhere. Stephanie joins us in New Orleans. Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, how are you?
Fine. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I called to answer that question about the local ice cream place.
Can you name 2 locally owned ice cream parlors or shops?
Yes. Creole Creamery, does that count?
Creole Creamery counts. What else?
And Angelo Bricado.
Yeah, you were going with Bricadas too. Excellent. You are correct.
Right. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for Johnny?
50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse, Stephanie. Lots of locations. Which one are you going to? New Orleans, Metairie?
Probably Metairie.
Metairie, brah. That's over there at Transcontinental by West Esplanade.
Awesome. I might let my mom take this and let her go.
Nice. Do you hit the Creole Creamery?
I do all the time, the one on Vicksburg.
Yeah, that's a nice one in Lakeview off Harrison. I usually hit the one in the old Mackenzie's on Magazine in Uptown. But sometimes the line is prohibitive, so I got to hit the Baskin Robbins at the Riverbend.
Yeah, it's not quite as good, though.
Nope, not quite as good. I'm trying to think of the place I went on Barone for ice cream just the other day, and now I'm forgetting the name. It was really good. Hey, will you hang on, Stephanie? Gonna get some info from you. Tighten you up with a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Your Angelo Bricadas is excellent always. Treats, cookies, all kind of great stuff. And Creole Creamery, tough to beat. 5 o'clock power hour next. Stick around.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us steer you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Susan Spicer joining us on the program.
Even when they presented me the award, the people that I look up to the most, Frank was there and Donald Link was there. It does cause you to reflect back and think about your whole career.
Maybe the Celebrenin Award says that to you, like I've arrived.
It certainly is kind of the ultimate honor when it comes to cooking and hospitality in New Orleans and the world.
New Orleans style talk gumbo, served daily.
Doesn't get much better than that, huh?
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hassendampf Incorporated. We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take.
We're sorry to announce the Nutri-Ground with Corey Johnson will not be seen this afternoon. We're pleased to announce that 2 reruns of Laverne and Shirley from 40 plus years ago will be running in place of the Nutri-Ground program with Corey Johnson. Here's Laverne, here's Shirley. It's Laverne and Shirley from 40 years ago. Let's head down to the brewery in Milwaukee. Tonight's episode, Laverne loses the L off of her sweater. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Mr. Drew Brees interrupting Laverne and Shirley episodes. Instead, it is the Neutral Ground with yours truly. I was ready to head home. I was ready to call it a day. I was going to watch some Laverne and Shirley, but instead, another hour, the 5 o'clock power hour. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you on a Monday afternoon. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. New Orleans City Council President J.P. Morrell joined us on the program, talking about the lack of transparency in this police chief search. They want the resumes. The council wants the resumes of the 6 semifinalists. They want the scores from the IACP on the finalists. They want to know how the IACP went from 33 applicants down to 6. Talk with J.P. Morrell about that and more. Speaking of the police chief search, it is down to 3, reportedly. The NOPD chief search down to 3, including 2 women. Interim Chief Michelle Woodfork making the cut. Where's Gomer Pyle saying surprise, surprise, surprise when you need him? Oakland Chief Ann Kirkpatrick making the cut. Frederick Andrus Sr. making the cut. The odds-on favorite is Michelle Woodfork to be chief. Many feel the fix is in. I had Ronald Surpass on last week, a 3-time police chief, NOPD, Nashville, Washington State Police. He has been on both sides of it, trying to become a chief, applying for a job, and being on a board, making a decision to hire a chief. He said a city of New Orleans' size, 250,000 people plus, in the United States of America, any other city would have drawn interest from at least 100 applicants, if not a few hundred. At least 100. New Orleans got 33 applicants. And I talked to Chief Surpass about this. New Orleans' reputation precedes us, and it's not good. It's not good. So we have to be better than everybody else. We have to do it twice as clean, twice as transparent, be twice above board as everybody else, because our rep sucks. We do the opposite. The word on the street to all these police chiefs nationwide that would have any inclination of having the slightest interest in the gig, they run from it because the fix is in. The fix is in. And then you got some folks that are like, I got nothing to lose. Maybe I'll make the list. I can use that as fodder for the next job. I was a finalist for the New Orleans job. Reportedly, the NOPD chief search down to 3. Interim Chief Michelle Woodfork, Oakland Chief Ann Kirkpatrick, Frederick Andrus III, or Frederick Andrus Sr., excuse me. A federal judge orders Mayor Cantrell's administration to court next month. It's unbelievable. Another question about flawed, tainted, corrupt, the PIB VAPI investigation. The Public Integrity Bureau cited 3 minor violations in that VAPI investigation. The Federal Monitor cited 9 violations, including major ones like payroll fraud that the PIB conveniently overlooked. The federal judge is issuing a rule to show cause. The question is, did the city violate the consent decree? You know, it's like Alvin Kamara's suspension. I think it's going to be 6. I want it to be 3 or 4. I want it to be 0. Do I want the consent decree to go away? Yes. Do we deserve it to go away? Probably not. Does Alvin Kamara deserve 6 games? Probably so, if you saw the video in the elevator or right outside the elevator. Boy, blank or get off the pot already, Morton family. Sinful behavior, pun intended. Reverend Morton, his wife, Deborah Morton, of the St. Stephen's, Greater St. Stephen's Church, that after Katrina basically abandoned New Orleans, went to Atlanta, a lot more money there. That's what those kind of tele-evangelist type mentality mega church preachers are mostly about, enriching themselves. They're like corrupt politicians. And the flock, because they've got this God denominator in the equation, they end up giving 10% of what they make to these jokers. Hey, it's America. Do what you like to do. You know, even though Jesse Duplantis lives in a house the size of a Hampton Inn, you know, I went to the jet factory and Jesus told me, he said, Jesse, don't get that plane. Get the more expensive, nicer plane. Jesus told me that. Wow. So full of crap, and folks buy into it hook, line, and sinker, especially in Louisiana, where we are famous for adults acting like children. As adults, we believe what we want to believe or what we hope is true, not what is true, not where the facts lead us. God gives us free will to choose. We choose poorly, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. My God doesn't like a rich Jesse Duplantis living in a house the size of a Hampton Inn, flying around on jets, driving V12 Mercedes-Benz, living rich and wealthy off of the parishioners. My God doesn't like that. The Morton family, that's their mentality, in my opinion. Clearly, more about themselves than helping the community. I mean, Deborah Morton says it all. She goes by doctor, and she has a PhD from a non-accredited university. It means it's not a legitimate school. It means she's not a legitimate doctor, but feels hell-bent, pun intended, compelled to use that title. This is the mentality. This is where these people are coming from. So Reverend Morton, Deborah Morton are millionaires off of poor people and lower middle class folks in New Orleans, inner city New Orleans folks mostly. Their son, PJ Morton, is a Grammy Award-winning musician. I mean, this story is mind-blowing. You have Buddy Bolden's home on 1st Street in Central City. Buddy Bolden is probably the single first mover of the jazz genre, like the inventor, the creator, the originator of jazz music. Buddy Bolden doing it in Central City, uptown New Orleans. His house is still there. The Morton family, Reverend Morton and Deborah Morton, bought it 20 years ago, not even knowing, maybe 15 years ago, not even knowing it was Buddy Bolden's house. When they found out about it, they almost seemed to be like belligerent, like, let's let it go, down the toilet, like demolition by neglect. So for years, over a decade, nothing done of significance. Now they've transferred ownership over to their Grammy award-winning son, a musician, PJ Morton, who you think would have a tremendous amount of pride and respect for Buddy Bolden's legacy and ultimately his house. Now, this is where it really gets sinful and crazy. You supposedly have a family of preachers of God-fearing people. You have a Grammy award-winning musician. You have a Buddy Bolden, the inventor of jazz music. His house still stands for about 10, 12, 15 grand at the most. You could secure this house from the elements where you don't have to worry about demolition by neglect the way the Historic Landmark Commission is saying. 10, 12, 15 grand. For $150,000, it could be fully renovated into a museum, some kind of place that, Buddy Bolden's house preserved, placards and the like. Instead, the sinful Morton family blows it off. PJ Morton, the Grammy award-winning musician, blowing it off. It's pathetic. There's no excuse. Cheap, tight. I don't know what the reason is. I can't figure it out. But it's supposed to be church-going, God-fearing people. Supposed to be a Grammy award-winning musician. It's Buddy Bolden's house. No, just sinful behavior. New Orleans, demolition by neglect. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Morrell let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port NOLA has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ooh, Lord, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Lord, Leidenheimer,
That's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. Hey, the 5 o'clock Power Hour brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. What a great wind down spot. Besides a great lunch and dinner spot, it is the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant and bar. Lots of folks claim it is their neighborhood bar, and they don't even live in the neighborhood. Lots of New Orleans characters are regulars at Katie's. You'll enjoy it. More is better, more of the good things, a true taste of New Orleans. New Orleans specialties, old school. Katie's in Mid-City, 5 o'clock Pow Hour, brought to you by Katie's. In the can't have this category, yet we still have it. At least 10 car break-ins at the Riverwalk parking lot overnight. Hilton Hotel, folks. At least 10 car break-ins. The Falstaff Brewery, Tulane at Gravier, where that unnecessary traffic light is, about a block off Tulane and Broad. A bunch of car break-ins. Right by NOPD headquarters, right by the sheriff's department, right by traffic court, 50 feet away. Just brazen criminals that do not care. Do not care one bit. You know, you can email us, Kaare, Kaare, Kaare at KaareTalks.com. Kaare Talks is our website. Tom emailed us about the car break-ins at the Riverwalk. Finally made it to the renovated aquarium and reopened insectarium today with the kids. Walking into the butterfly exhibit, one can't help notice the large pane of glass facing the moonwalk that is shattered with a bullet hole in it. That was original. You remember that? They shot the window at the aquarium insectarium. That piece of glass is probably specially made. It's probably like a $10,000 piece of glass. It's part of the wall of the building. And some loser in New Orleans shoots it. And the guy notices that still, it's a few weeks later, hasn't been replaced. Probably waiting on that expensive piece of glass to come in. I look incredulously at the Audubon worker, and he says, yes, that's exactly what you think it is. UFB. I'll let you kiddies figure that out, the UFB. Tom. P.S. NOLA doesn't hold the monopoly of this type of behavior. Wife is training in Denver, Aurora specifically. It's like a Kenner of Denver. And the nice hotel they're staying at has had numerous car thefts and break-ins, including my wife's car getting stolen last week. When asked why the hotel doesn't beef up security, she was told because it doesn't matter. The police either ignore it, or if they bother catching and arresting the perps, they're out on the street before the ink on their arrest papers are dry. So similar problems in Denver, Colorado, which I would put in a category of a growing, booming city in America. You know, I don't know how many cities that just have really, prolific growth. I guess about 10. We know it's Houston, Dallas, and Atlanta. They grow by 6 figures a year, north of 100,000 folks, like a new Kenner, every single year for 30, 40 years straight. Year in, year out, decade in, decade out, 100,000 plus people annually moving into Metro Houston, Metro Dallas, Metro Atlanta. Places like Phoenix,
and Denver and Portland and Seattle have similar type growth. Las Vegas, Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, Austin, Nashville, Tennessee. These are all cities that have tremendous growth, lots of college graduates flocking to these cities for opportunity after they graduate. Denver's in that category. Denver's like almost 3 million people in the metro. 25 years ago, it was about Metro New Orleans size, maybe 1.5 million. They've doubled in size the last 15, 20 years in Denver. Doubled in size. So no, even there, car break-ins, car thefts. Now I mentioned the Louis Vuitton stores and things of that nature in very affluent areas. Sacramento, just egregious theft. 4 women, fat women, the size of like the grocery cart they're pushing, come out of like a Target, one of these big box stores with the alarm going off at the store. They just wheeled all this crap right out, throw it in the trunk of some car and waddling into their car, and these 4 fat women drive off with all this stolen stuff, hundreds of dollars in stolen stuff. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in America. Ethics, morals, integrity, honor, pride, just out the window. Too many people procreating, from poor people to rich, wealthy people with multiple college degrees, procreating with no parental skills anywhere near them. Maybe you should not have procreated just because, it seemed like the natural thing to do. Maybe you shouldn't have done it since you're not parenting material. I am parenting material. I am father material. And I don't have a kid. And I'd be a great dad because I get it. If I were married and had kids, I would be at best 3rd and maybe 4th. I know too many people, friends and acquaintances, males that are married with kids. They're still number 1. They're more number 1 in their life than I am as a single male. It's like blows me away. It's like kids number 1, wife number 2. Maybe the wife's mom or dad or in-laws or the sister or brother of the wife. They're 3 and you're 4. After like the wife's mom or grandmother, you're like 4. So how can you be a good parent? You procreated when you still think you're number 1. Still going out partying, not teaching the kids, neglecting the kids. I don't get it. No, I got friends and family. That's why I stress. People think when you say something like that, it's like poor project folks, procreating, government assistance. They shouldn't be procreating. There's a bunch of folks, all socioeconomic levels, that have no parenting skills, should not have procreated. Because people are rich and wealthy, can financially take care of their kids, means they're good parents and should have procreated. I'd say the percentages are exactly the same between educated and wealthy and poor as far as parenting material and should they have procreated or not. I see it firsthand. I mean, entitlement mentality children, that's about as bad as it gets. That's about as bad as it gets. Yeah, I would say gangbanger, inner city criminals are worse, but that's a close second. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Thanks for checking us out on radio. Oh, so fine. 93.9 FM. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube. Corey Johnson, Neutral Ground. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost anything. Send the link to a friend or family member. We're trying to grow our fledgling YouTube channel. I'm terrible at social media. I need help. Help me. Mom, pick me up in the station wagon out back. I want to go home. Okay. Sorry. I'm terrible at social media. I need help. Thanks for checking us out on television. TV audience, you folks watching on Cox Channel 4 in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, all over Louisiana. You charter television subscribers watching on Spectrum, Channel 333 in Slidell and Covington, Mandeville, Cheyenne Country, Hammond, Home, Opelousas, all over the state. We're about to say adios. 4 to 5:30, 90 minutes of fun on television. The first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program, simulcast on TV daily. That means in about 40 seconds, we're out of here on TV. But you can watch us on YouTube till 6, Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Check us out on the radio, 93.9 FM. Or go to our website where you have live streaming, KaareTalks.com. Corey spelled Kaare, KaareTalks.com. Hey, TV audience, thanks for checking us out. We will be back tomorrow, straight up 4 o'clock, 4 to 5:30 on television in Louisiana. Mañana, we seamlessly continue on radio, on YouTube, KaareTalks.com till 6 o'clock. Hey, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed New Orleans City Council President J.P. Morrell talking about the police chief search, lack of transparency, Pontalba apartment. Thursday, they'll vote on redefined rules that ousts the mayor permanently from the Pontalba, maybe even putting it back into commerce permanently so the mayor doesn't even have access to it. I mentioned to J.P. Morrell to go back to his original travel junket ordinance. You remember he had travel trips capped at $1,000 and then got rid of that. And the mayor abuses the hell out of that. The flyer could have broken the law. The only thing, isn't this sad? The only thing we can hope for with the mayor is that these federal investigations have teeth and the mayor gets indicted and the mayor goes to jail. Isn't that sad? Like, that's what we have to hope for or wish happens. I don't hope LaToya Cantrell in her personal life has any will. I don't want her to go to jail, but I want her to get what she deserves. And if these investigations lead to corrupt criminal behavior, so be it. And I wouldn't bet against that. If you ask me, LaToya Cantrell breaking the law like a C. Ray Nagin did or not, I would say yes more than no. I would say yes more than no. No, and got 3 more years of this. Thank God for the council that they at least try to have some, checks and balances going on. At least they try. Hey, a federal judge has ordered the mayor's administration to court next month. Not the mayor specifically, but the mayor or a mayor representative. It's about the flawed, tainted, corrupt VAPI investigation. The PIB, the Public Integrity Bureau, 3 minor violations. The federal monitor handling the consent decree, overlooking the consent decree, counts 9 violations, not 3, including some major ones like payroll fraud that the PIB conveniently overlooks. Rule to show cause is what the federal judge is saying. And wondering, did the city violate the consent decree? I mean, I would think the Public Integrity Bureau violated the consent decree. Yes. Yes. Boy, in the blank or get off the pot category, sinful behavior, pun intended, for Reverend Morton and Deborah Morton, these Greater St. Stephen's Church folks that essentially abandoned New Orleans post-Katrina. They went to Atlanta and they're like, holy smokes, so much more money here. So many more black affluent folks. So many more than New Orleans. It's not even close. Honey, we need to stay in Atlanta and establish a church here permanently because there's simply too much money to be had. What we do in New Orleans, every minute, every hour we do in New Orleans, we do in Atlanta, 10 times the money brought in. So essentially the Mortons have abandoned New Orleans. They have a church in the east, but Greater St. Stephen's, in Central City no longer exists. Their son is a Grammy award-winning artist. PJ Morton played keyboards for Maroon 5, I believe. Grammy award winner. So you have supposed people of God, Reverend Morton and his wife, preachers, and then a musician. This is where it gets mind-blowing. We're talking about Buddy Bolden's home. Buddy Bolden, maybe the father the innovator, the originator of jazz music, the jazz genre. He might be the first mover. Didn't start in Storyville. Started in Uptown in Central City at Buddy Bolden's house, Buddy Bolden's neighborhood. First Street, right off Liberty, right off Simone Boulevard, the old Dryads. You got Reverend Morton, Deborah Morton. They own Buddy Bolden's old house. They buy it, don't even realize it's his house. Then they find out it's his house, and it almost seems like they go into hyperdrive to blow it off, to neglect it. After years, over a decade, they pass the baton to their son, Grammy winner PJ Morton. He follows the parents' lead and does nothing to secure the house. The Historic Landmarks Commission says the house is now going into demolition by neglect status. You know, you have a breach in the roof or a wall where the elements can get in. I don't care if it's heart pine or cypress. Eventually that house is going to fall down, exposed to the elements. And apparently the Morton family does not care about jazz great Buddy Bolden's home that they own. That's fine. Give the house away, sell it on the cheap, get rid of the house, give it to someone that cares and will do something. No, it's sinful behavior considering the Mortons are millionaires. They're rich, getting free money, doing that like TV evangelist type gimmick. Pretty much have abandoned New Orleans for Atlanta, where there's more money, more free money, for about 10 grand. I'm not making this up. 10, 12, 15,000 bucks at the most. You can totally secure that house. Get rid of any compromises in the roof or wall where the elements are getting in and secure that historic house, Buddy Bolden's home, for 10, 12, 15 grand. For about 150,000, for about 10 times that amount, you can fully redo this house to like brand new, status where it'll become a landmark, a museum, a tourist attraction, whatever. The first mover, the inventor, the originator, the father of jazz music, Buddy Bolden's home. Instead, you have a supposed religious family doing sinful behavior and neglecting the home. So much so it's falling into demolition by neglect. And double sinful behavior because they got the money. And we're talking about 10, 12, 15 grand is secured, and they're too cheap, too tight, don't care to do that. They pass it on to their son, who is a Grammy award-winning musician. If he doesn't recognize the significance of Buddy Bolden and his contribution to music, inventing jazz, then shame on PJ Morton. Take his Grammy away, almost. I mean, my God. 10, 12, 15 grand to secure the house. 100, 150 grand to totally redo it. And the Morton family does not give a crap. And it's obvious. There's no excuses. This is year in, year out, over a decade now. No excuses. They don't care. It's not a priority. No sense of urgency. They are rich. They are wealthy, and they don't care. Get rid of the house already. Nothing burns me up more as a native New Orleanian. I mean, it pisses me off when we lose historic structures because there's no way to replace them. Lost New Orleans is like a book for every New Orleanian to own. It's great old historic structures that ain't there no more. Some by fire, some by stupid, mindless demolition by choice. Some demolition by neglect. A lot of it demolition by neglect. No, we'll never have those old historic buildings ever again. When that LeBeau plantation went down in St. Bernard Parish, that Miro Foundation, those sick individuals, Jack Stevens, the former sheriff, all those sellouts, not doing anything to protect that old historic plantation. Let it burn to the ground. Didn't fence it off, didn't put in lights and, motion detectors and alarm systems, at the very least. Few grand a year to protect this historic structure. Instead, they enrich themselves, Jack Stevens, Gutierrez, all these jokers on that Miro Foundation, and they screw over the citizens. Historic LeBeau plantation, gone forever. Sinful. Look at all these forts that surround New Orleans. We're just letting them, demolition by neglect. They're historic. We should have the feds protecting. They should be federal monuments. They should be fully preserved. Millions of dollars going into each and every fort to bring them back up to standards. Fort Proctor out in St. Bernard sits in the middle of a lake. Should be surrounded by a levee, a shell road leading up to it above the water, protected from the water, a tourist attraction. Millions to redo them. A lot of jobs created to redo them. And then a lot of federal jobs, people living here locally that have to work those tourist attractions. Who else even talks about the historic forts in New Orleans besides me on this program? No, we're the city that forgot to care. It's a shame. No, and nothing pisses me off worse than historic buildings that are irreplaceable, and we allow them to go into this demolition by neglect status. And you have affluent people like Reverend Morton and his wife. They're millionaires, and they, in my opinion, didn't earn the money. They're like TV evangelists. They're shysters. They're charlatans. They're BS jokers hiding in front of, God and religion. Then you have a son who's a Grammy winner that understands music. This is Buddy Bolden's home, and they don't give a crap. And that is just sinful, pathetic behavior. And the Morton family needs to, be held accountable. Blanker, get off the pot already when it comes to Buddy Bolden's home. No, I'd say chances are better than not the home ends up falling down instead of being preserved. And you can thank Reverend Morton, Deborah Morton, who pretends to be a doctor, gets a PhD from an unaccredited mail-order university so she can say she's a doctor. That's the mentality of these folks. And then P.J. Morton has a Grammy Award. He's a musician, supposedly. Buddy Bolden, the inventor of jazz, the creator of jazz, the originator, he owns the house and refuses to fix it. Something very, very wrong with this story. Something blatantly wrong. It's overt, egregious, over the top. Hey, best quality, best price, best selection. I'm talking about Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home. Rouse's has been around for over 60 years, over 60 locations. They employ over 7,000 people. Rouse's has over 7,000 employees, mostly in South Louisiana, 90% of them in South Louisiana, and some in southern Mississippi, some in southern Alabama. Locally owned and operated, New Orleans grocery store. Tastes like home. Your Rouse's Markets.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City. Speaking of the Crescent City, an amazing New Orleans story, Leidenheimer Baking Company. Still baking that Leidenheimer French bread right here in the city of New Orleans, Orleans Parish, New Orleans proper. They've been doing that since 1896. They're into their 3rd century. Over 125 years. 5th generation, family-owned and operated. That Leidenheimer French bread, always being served in the city's finest restaurants. That little mini loaf of Leidenheimer piping hot with the room temperature butter. Hard to knock out. Hard to not knock out that whole little mini loaf by yourself. I had a wonderful roast beef po' boy earlier today. And yes, it was on Leidenheimer French bread. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company. The NOPD chief search reportedly down to 3. Interim Chief Michelle Woodfork, Oakland Chief Ann Kirkpatrick, and Thedrick Andrus Sr. 2 women on that final list. The favorite, obviously, Interim Chief Michelle Woodfork. Many feel the fix is in on that. She would become the first female chief in New Orleans and the first openly gay police chief in New Orleans. A federal judge orders the mayor's administration to court next month. It's about the flawed, tainted, corrupt VAPI investigation done by the Public Integrity Bureau, where they cited 3 minor violations after their VAPI investigation. The Federal Monitor cited 9 violations, including major ones like payroll fraud that the PIB conveniently overlooked. It's a rule to show cause. The court wants to know, did the city violate the consent decree? Who would bet against that? It's almost like, of course they did in this VAPI investigation. I said it earlier, blank or get off the pot. Talking about Reverend Morton, Greater St. Stephen's Church, really now in Atlanta. Deborah Morton, the wife. They've owned Buddy Bolden, the jazz great's home, for years. And all they've done is let it go into disrepair. The Historic Landmark Commission District, they now cite this house as demolition by neglect. Reverend Morton, Deborah Morton, millions of dollars, basically pilfering it from poor to lower middle class black families. It was in New Orleans post-Katrina. It's mostly been in Atlanta because they got to Atlanta and they went, holy smokes, a lot more black people here and with a lot more money. We can make a lot more money. We can be richer in Atlanta. It isn't about Atlanta has more souls to save or any of that. New Orleans, clearly, the black community in New Orleans needs more help than the black community in Atlanta. Reverend Morton and Deborah Morton know this, but there's a lot more money to be made in Atlanta, and that's what they've always been about. Proof's in the pudding, and I guess it bleeds over to their son. He's a musician, too. Grammy Award winning, knows a little bit about music. This is Buddy Bolden's home. They refuse to even secure it. 10, 12, 15,000 bucks would secure the roof, the walls from any kind of water damage, any kind of elements getting into the house that could deteriorate the house. They could secure it, essentially like mothballing it for 10, 12, 15 grand. They refuse to do it. They refused to do it for years, over a decade. Now the Reverend Morton and the wife, Deborah, have transferred ownership of the house to their Grammy Award-winning son, PJ Morton. He refuses to do anything to secure the property. Give the property to somebody that cares. Give the property to someone that respects Buddy Bolden and the genre of music he created, jazz, the originator, maybe the inventor. Give the house to someone that actually cares, respects it, honors it. It's mind-blowing. It's a reverend family and a musician that won a Grammy, and they're letting Buddy Bolden's house go into disrepair where it's about to fall down. No, it's sinful behavior, and it's mind-blowing behavior from a Grammy Award-winning musician. And this is the guy that invented the jazz genre, Buddy Bolden's house. Shame on the Morton family. Reverend Morton, Deborah Morton with the fake PhD, and the Grammy Award-winning musician, PJ Morton. You got to do better. 10, 12, 15 grand, that's it. You cheap, tight people that don't care to secure the house. Totally fix it, renovate it, 150,000 bucks. What are you cheap, tight people waiting for? Pathetic, embarrassing behavior. Blank or get off the pot. Give the house to somebody else already. Give the house to somebody else already. Hey, Fausto's Italian Bistro opened at 5. They'll roll till 9 p.m. tonight. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. Doesn't that sound good on a Monday night? Dinner at Fausto's Italian Bistro over on Vets. Hey, in the can't have this category yet, we still have it. At least 10 car break-ins at the Riverwalk parking lot by the Hilton. A bunch more car break-ins at the Falstaff surface parking lot on Broad Street at Gravier, right across from police headquarters and the sheriff. Mind-blowing. Can't have this. The folks that came in from out of town, that were in town for a concert, that love New Orleans, the tourists, quote, we love coming here and we want to come back, but it definitely doesn't want to make you come back. I don't blame those folks. How do you blame them? I don't like going down to the Quarter or downtown or some restaurant and walking to my car after I have my head on a swivel, hoping when I get to my car, the windows are intact or it's not carjacked. I have to actually think like that? That's terrible, huh? That's not a good way to live. We got to do better than that in New Orleans. Boy, it's hot out there. Another one of those, mid-90s, feels like 100 and something. River City's Total Maintenance is there if you need air conditioning help. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. River City's Total Maintenance. Honest, air conditioning experts that come immediately. Those are the three things you need in an air conditioning outfit. Honest, air conditioning experts that come immediately. That's exactly what you get with River City's Total Maintenance. 841-3300. 841-3300. An even easier thing to remember than their phone number, 841-3300. Their website. You need air conditioning help? NOLAAC.com. You need air conditioning help? NOLAAC.com. Hey, if you need air conditioning help, NOLAAC.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Morrell led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
They've been in New Orleans since 1940, Young's Dry Cleaning. If you're tired of your dry cleaner and you want to experience the best, a New Orleans institution, youngsdrycleaning.com. youngsdrycleaning.com. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon, 4 o'clock hour this afternoon. New Orleans City Council President J.P. Morrell joined us, discussing the police chief's search, the lack of transparency. The council wants the resumes from these finalists, the scores from the IACP on the finalists. how the IACP went from 33 to 6. They want all that. Will they get it? Reportedly, the chief searched down to 3, including interim chief Michelle Woodfork. The mayor will select one of those 3 and present it to the council for a vote. Helena Moreno says she won't vote if she doesn't get the info. We'll see. What's that, Blue Boy? The Morton family, sinful behavior. PJ Morton with a Grammy. They should know better. Fix Buddy Bolden's jazz home already. Blue Boy, you're so right. Mañana.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.